What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel, Old Dirty Carpenter, and today we're on day 4 of framing this truss house. Today's kind of a short one, but we're going to get the rest of these walls framed. We're going to do a lot of bracing and plumbing so we can get these walls square, and then we can start sheeting the outside. I'm also going to be doing some miscellaneous punch-out work, along with some truss prep, and we're also going to get the beam set for the front porch. On the next workday, we're going to be able to fly all these trusses and get the roof system put on. I'll try to explain everything I'm doing, and feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see us build all these future unique houses. This video is in 2 and 3 times speed, so if you want to watch us work at a normal pace, just hit that cog in the bottom right of the video to slow it down. But with that, let's get this house ready for the trusses. So we left off on day 3 where we finished the deck, and we framed about 3/4 of the walls. We always start with the exterior walls first, so we only got a few interior walls before we're finished. Right here I'm starting off with a small wall that has a pocket door in it and a couple studs. It's just a standard header that comes above all doors and windows to carry the load above the doorway so it doesn't sag. These are small cripple blocks that carry the load up above the header. You want to make sure that all of your wood is nailed flush so it doesn't mess up with the drywall. Time to lift it up and slide it in place. Then I nail it down every 16 inches or so and then connect all the top plates. The bottom plates for these doorways will be getting cut out, so there's no use nailing in those areas. When the walls are laid out, they have the partition marks where they should connect. So I'm going to bend a nail over this top plate so I could pry it together and get it nice and tight. Looks like a water skiing. 15 hands. That's what's up. Graham cracker crust. That's what's up. They're walking in. That's tight. This doorway for this closet had to get changed, so I'm going to frame that right now. Starting with the king stud. A lot of these doorways don't have any major load points, so sometimes we use ladder headers, which is just 2x4s. But first, to establish the opening, this is the cripple stud.
How many will you still get if he was available?
I'm just matching layout with the wall behind it for these little cripple studs. So besides adding the jack studs or bucks under the header, that's a simple closet doorway. Now we're going to move on to the bracing process. We frame the walls bare bones so then we could get them up faster. And then once we get all the corners plumb, we could have a couple guys start sheeting around the house. At that point, we just frame about 2 sheets up, or about 8 foot, until we frame our gables and roof. So like I said, we're gonna just go around to each major corner of the house and get it plumb. Basically, one guy reads the level, one guy tugs on the brace, and one guy nails. It's pretty straightforward, you just have to go either in or out depending on the bubble of the level. But sometimes we have different kinds of braces, like a pry bar brace, or a push or a pull brace that either sucks it in or wedges it out. After you plumb all the major corners, next is the more annoying part, making sure all the major walls are straight. The walls need to be straight because when you install your joists or trusses, they all need to be in the same position in accordance to the roof. If not, things will start going wacky when you frame the roof, and they won't bear correctly on the wall. For example, if you're looking down a 30 or 40 foot wall, it could look like a stretched out S or a long winding path, so you definitely need to get some braces on at those points and get it nice and straight. But once again, all you gotta simply do is push out or pull in.
Nice to see you. No, let him pull. My poor chest. Oh, I'm hurting. Good, good, good. Fucking split. That's nuts.
This wall had a weird kink in it right here, so we're going to use this brace to suck it in. You just got to nail the top and bottom of the brace, then we're going to use a board to put in the middle, that's going to wedge against it to pull it in. Nail the bottom of this board and just keep pulling in until you get it to where you want it, and then nail through it. Once you get to straightening everything, sometimes it will conflict with other walls that you already braced off, so sometimes you do have to make adjustments. That may mean moving a top plate a little bit at a certain area, beating a brace in or out, or just redoing a brace in general to fix it after you straighten the different wall.
Pubic. Come on, hit the block. Did I do anything at all? Alright. I'm a pot. I don't know. That's none of my business, dude. Great, now I gotta edit that. This will get muted. What the heck?
That's going to be it for the bracing. Now we're going to do some punch out things and get some stuff ready for the trusses. Starting off, we're going to build a scaffold throughout this large living room, so then somebody could walk through this when we're installing the trusses. It's just a couple of 2x4 goal posts as the frame, and then a couple of 2x10s as the walk planks. After that, I get to cutting a bunch of bucks or jack studs to go up under these interior door headers. Generally, we leave this kind of punch out work for the end of the house on the last day or two, but sometimes we have to wait for the trusses to get delivered, so we just do whatever we can until that happens. Most doorway openings are about 3 feet, so they just require about 1 buck. But once a header goes past 6 foot, it does require 2 jack studs, and then every 3 or 4 foot after that, just add another buck just to be safe.
Yeah. There's the fucking loser. You should stay fat, he's on here. Well, then you can the chat and he became all red pilled. In reality, you're still a loser. Huh? No, he got like Andrew Tate pilled. Like alpha guy. He started hating on like women and shit all the time. Nothing, but he also didn't get chicks at all, so. You're right, no, right? Yeah, they're varying. You remind me of Cruella de Vil. That's the girl that took the 101 Dalmatians and stole them. Don't matter. I make it work.
This is called a partition block. We line the studs up this way so that when a wall connects, it has a nice drywall nailer for each corner of those rooms. So we put these blocks in these partitions, nail a side of each of these studs, so it stays nice and stiff for when the drywall is screwed in those areas.
good block or partition?
After we install the bucks, we have to cut out the rest of the bottom plate for the doors. Here's a quick look at the sheeting that they got done before we move on to the front porch beams. So the right side of this porch is going to be a square shape, and then eventually we're going to have another beam going across to the garage. These beams are just 2x10. We have them nailed together with an 1.5 inch gap at the end, so then they can interlock when you connect them. We need to get these in because quite a few trusses are going to sit on these beams. We're going to cut an opening on this corner, and we'll have that beam sitting in on this wall about 3.5 inches. Once we have the first beam set, we're going to prop it up with this 2x6 while we get the next one ready. My battery died when we set the second beam, but this other beam will cap these other two at the end. But that's going to be it for day 4 on this truss house. That's all we could do while we waited for the trusses to get delivered. If you liked the content, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to the channel, Old Dirty Carpenter. It helps get my videos out there to other people who like building. If you have any questions, tips, criticisms, or feedback regarding my work or my video, please drop a comment and let me know what you're thinking. But I appreciate everyone stopping by. Make sure you check out my next video next week when we start flying these trusses and getting this roof system sheeted.
You want to order?